Welcome everyone, this is Mondan Raghavan. This video we are going to see a quick introduction about the Docker and the Docker desktop installation in your system. In order to understand the container or let's say Docker, we need to understand the virtual machine versus container. And we are going to do the Docker desktop installation after that. Just consider about the infrastructure that we have nowadays. It has more computing power, more processing powers. So if you are using very less, let's say machines, then it will not be used efficiently. So for that reason, we will be creating the different virtual machines. It looks like you have a single underlying infrastructure, but you are creating the different machines, but actually which does not present physically. So we can achieve this by using the tool or let's say software called hypervisor. However, each virtual machine will be acting like a physical machine. It will be having its own operating system and own applications, own library files and binaries and so on. However, the limitation will be like infrastructure having some computing power means it has to be shared in front of all the virtual machine beforehand. Once it has been allocated, so you cannot minimize or maximize those things. So that's the limitation about the virtual machine. And what about containers? Containers, it goes one level above, whereas virtual machine will be having the virtualization at the hardware level, whereas the Docker or container will be doing the virtualization even at the OS level. In simple words, the container or Docker will be doing the virtualization at the operating system level. So that means that even the application will be just working like a small packet or container, even it will be having the OS, but it will be like a virtualized OS. So this can be achieved by using the container engine. One of the container engine and popular container engine is like Docker. But in both the scenarios, why do we need the, let's say the container and the virtual machines? So let's say when you go with clouds, so we don't need to acquire the entire infrastructure to do some computing activities. Let's say machine learning or let's say some jobs or say some application to be run. So generally we need some machine for some time and we will use the computing power or processing speed. Then we will give back to the cloud. Then both are doing the same job. Then what is the difference between Docker and let's say virtual machines? So the virtual machines will be having, let's say when compared to the Docker, it will be having more utilization, and let's say it might be a chance that you can waste somewhere. Whereas containers will take everything, even at the OS level virtualization happen, so that the utility or let's say the capacity what we are going to use from the infrastructure will be more. In simple words, it will be speed and it will be having more usage and more efficient. At the end user point of view, so you are going to either use the virtual machine or container, at last you are going to the cloud. But however, we can do the containerization even in the local systems or let's say in your local system or desktop as well. But in general, overall level, people will go to the virtual machine from the cloud or people will go to the containers from the cloud. Okay, just to learn about the Docker and containers, so what we can do is like we can install the desktop Docker. However, if you install the desktop Docker, it will create its own subsystem in your, let's say in your machine, because generally Docker will come with, let's say the enterprise edition of the Windows. But just to learn or just to experiment, it will be creating the subsystem in your, let's say the normal system, Windows system, and it will be working on that. So what are the steps to install the Docker desktop that we are going to see now? Simple as it is, just go to the Google and just look for the Docker install. You will be getting the install Docker engine. Just click on that. And here you can see the different platforms, for example, Mac OS, NOS, and so on. So we are having the Windows. So you just click on the Windows and click on the Docker desktop for Windows. Before that, you can see some of the pre-requirements or let's say preconditions that you need to have in your system. So 64-bit processor and 4 GB RAM minimum, and let's say other settings for the OS level. So just click on the Docker desktop for Windows. Once you download it, so just double click on the desktop Docker. It will be asking for the admin rights. So you just log in with admin. And it will be downloading some packages. Okay, so you are okay to install the Windows components for the, let's say WSL2 and add shortcut to the desktop. Just click on OK. After some time, the installation will be succeeded and just click on OK. Now go to the desktop. So by default, it will create the Docker desktop. Double click. So it will be asking some acceptance criteria or terms and conditions. Here you can read out very clearly. So it will be remain free if you are using for small companies like fewer than 250 employees or let's say less than 10 million in annual revenue. So that will be free. But however, if you are using more than this, you need to have the paid version. So in our case, it will be very simple. So we are going to just explore for the free subscription just to learning purpose. So accept the terms and click on accept. So it will be opening the Docker desktop and it will be starting for the first time and it will take some time. Click on start. And here it will be having some default steps that you can practice. For example, it will be 4 steps: clone, build, run, share. So since we are the newcomers to the Docker area, so we can see this later, but however, you can just try this. If you click on this, it will be running on your right hand side. So after doing this one, again, you can see the command terminal. Again, click on the next step. Now execute this one. Now click on next step and click on Docker run. So it is just like a trial run or smoke test kind of thing. So you can check it whether it is working fine or not. Again, click on next step. Again, click on run. So I think my console got stuck. So however, it's okay, fine. It's just a optional tutorial that you can try it out and click on done. Then here you will be having your, let's say, account settings. If you don't have account settings, you need to create the account settings. For example, let's say click on sign in. It should be asking for the Docker ID and password. You need to create the Docker ID and password. If you don't have, just click on the hub.docker.com. It will be just going to the hub.docker.com. There you can create your, let's say, if I have already, I will be having that, let's say a logout. Then okay, so in simple scenario, it will be asking for the username and password for the initial time, and you will be providing the email ID. So where you will get your one-time password that you need to provide, and you need to have the Docker ID and password. So for simplicity, just I have created already. So Mukundan, Docker, and your password. Click on sign in. So once you sign in, just you can see whatever the, let's say the container you have created, that you can see this container is running at the port number 80 and it is in the running status. Okay, so this is about the very simple introduction about the Docker. But however, let's say if you are facing some issues, or let's say if you are getting some pop-up error, then you need to go to the another place, something like. So this will be the different steps that you need to follow. This URL also I will be giving. It is just like you need to copy the PowerShell commands, then you need to enable the WSL. Sometimes what happens is if you are not able to install the WSL, Windows subsystem, so that time you need to just go with the, let's say, this PowerShell commands. It's very simple. Just click on the power button, or let's say Windows power, and type PowerShell. Then after you will be just copying this and you need to execute there. But you should be just logging in as an admin. So you need to open the Windows PowerShell as the admin. So you need to do the same steps, whatever it's mentioned here. So copy and just run it, and you will be having the success response, and you need to execute the different things. Here you can see the same kind of step 3, and you need to copy, paste, and execute. And here you can check it. It should be having the positive response. Then after, you will be just going to the Microsoft Store and you will be installing the Ubuntu. In simple, so rather than installing Ubuntu as a virtual machine or the virtual box, you will be having Ubuntu as a Windows subsystem for Linux, so that you will be having the different commands that what you want to achieve for the Dockers that you can do in the same Windows system. So that's the need, that's why we are just installing this WSL for the Windows system, so that you can have the Docker desktop in your system. Now I'm going back to here, so you can see the different statuses. You can just click here. So here you can see, so this is the container it's running. It is running on the local host and it is having some default content for you. So at any time you can run or just say stop it, or let's say restart it, and different things you can do. In simple, let's say there are different things that you can do with the container. So it will be something like, just overview we can see here. So it's the Docker file where you will just mention or design your image, how it should be. By using the Docker file, you will build it, and after build, you will be having the image. Then image, if you run it, it will be running as a container for you. For the container level, you can stop it, start it, and restart it. Let's say you don't want to create the image, you want to use the existing image, and like how we have the GitHub and Bitbucket, same way we have the, let's say for Docker Hub. So the Docker Hub will be having the different images already pre-built that you can pull it and create, and you can run the images and you can create the containers. But however, these are, let's say, next level of steps that we need to understand. But as of now, we have understood what is Docker and what is the benefit when you compare with, let's say, the virtual machines. And we have seen how to install the Docker desktop, and why do we need the WSL? Because the subsystem for Linux is required to run the different commands which are required for the Docker desktop. So that's why we install the WSL. In case if you are not able to install, we will be using the manual steps that we need to follow. And there are other steps such as like you need to create the Docker ID by going to the Docker website itself. So the reference for the Docker website or manual installation of WSL all will be provided in the reference section. So thanks for watching and have a great day.